Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. Hello and welcome back with your Renegade Master, Dreadlockcaster, RedRipz, right here, live on stream, streaming some CasualCraft in StarCraft 2 Heart the Swarm. Now, today's game is one sent in by a friend of mine, and he's today's brother from another mother, the Red Protoss player, Oloth. Gold League. Loving it. Down here in the bottom right-hand corner of Whirlwind LE. Yes, sexy business, sexy business. Now in the top right-hand corner of the map today, when I've finished dropping my keys, today's sister from another mister, the beautiful blue Protoss player, Purple, also a Gold League player. So the pair of them here today, Gold v Gold, PvP, Whirlwind Mappage. Now, obviously, map isn't cross-position, so Oloth's going to be right down the right-hand corner, Purple up in the top right, so they're going to have to go and find each other. Purple straight away, sending out a scout, having a little look around to see what's going on. Now, this is game 36 that I've casted now, I think. Something along those lines. Yeah, looking very good, all doing nice stuff. I'm really, to be honest, still enjoying it. It's everything's just getting better and better. I feel like my quality's improving, my general busyness is improving. These two have just had a nice little snog there, and that was all very pretty. Now, today's beer is San Miguel Fresca, which is pretty blonde, to be honest. Yeah, it's very icy. And that's about as exciting as that gets. So with that in mind, we're going to be seeing Oloth taking his gateway down first. He's getting his simulator out as well. Traditional buildy stuff. It's all very good. I'm going to give a big shout out as well to Oloth's friends, who he said watch my casts with him or something apparently. So hey guys, welcome to the stream. And yeah. So with that, Purple's going to be getting out his own gateway as well. That's slightly behind Oloth's there, so we might be seeing some very slightly... Oh no, we're going to be seeing another gateway. So instead, we're just going to actually see some early pressure out of Purple here, I'd imagine. With the other two gateways down, there's not really something you do unless you're going to be getting some early stuff out, and a third one to follow. I'm not quite sure what he's doing, because he's not going for Warp Gate yet, so... Might we see a 3-gate expand or something? I don't know. Meanwhile, Oloth's doing much more standard stuff. We're getting the Cybernex core down. I'm going for a second assimilator here, so we might be seeing some early gas-heavy units out. Possibly some extra tech or something, maybe an early 1-1, something like that. He's going 2 into that, so yeah, we're seeing 2 in each one, so that's the sort of the typical Protoss-y business. We're also seeing the Cybernex core coming down here at the top base here for Purple. So he looks like he might actually be going for that. Oh no, he's stopped that other gateway, so he's... Yeah, okay, so we're only getting 2 gateways and a late Cybernex core out of Purple here. I'm not sure if that was indecisiveness or complete mistake, but either or, he does have a proxy pylon out down the bottom of the map now that he knows where his opponent is, and he will be having a good look around in the base there. So, yeah, so, well, as I say, CasualCraft 35, I've started moving to other games now as well. I was going to do a serious Sam series because... Well, I like old FPS games quite a lot, but unfortunately I was totally crap at it, so I need to practice my FPS playing again a little bit more, and until I'm a little bit more prepared to actually stream shit like that, because, man, honestly, I spent about an hour trying to do the first level. I mean, it was on the hardest difficulty, but, like, it just wasn't fun to watch. By the end of it, it was just a video of me raging, and Serious Sam was almost irrelevant. So we've got 4-gate coming out of Oloth here. Seems to be the case. We're not actually going to be continuing to chrono boost out the Warp Gate research, so I don't think he's rushing that out. I'd imagine we'll probably be getting a bit of pressure down, nothing too pushy or advanced. He does have a proxy pylon out in exactly actually the same position that Purple does. I wonder if they know about each other's proxies. I don't think... No, neither of them know about each other's proxies, so we might be seeing a little bit of an exchange of troops here going on as Oloth's actually now getting out a sentry as well to come and force field the ramp, so he should actually be in a better position to defend this. He's got the extra gateway up, so he should be doing more damage. So we're getting 2 more gateways out of Purple now as well. So we're going to see a variation of 4-gate versus a variation of 4-gate, it seems. The Oloth does have his forward coming down now as well. So it's not looking like he's looking to pressure too hard. I'd have perhaps consider building slightly less gates here at this stage of the game, just because we're not really using them. But to be honest... I mean, he's ahead, so it doesn't really matter. Purple is gathering forces outside of Oloth's base, but with the sentry here to force field the ramp, there's really nothing much to worry about, I'll be honest. Out of out of purple there, really, as long as Oloth's on top of that and doesn't do anything too out of this world. We're seeing loads of additional pylons coming down out of Oloth now, so he's looking to take his supply up through the roof, and I think by the looks of it, actually, this might just be his plan, basically. If we just build this stuff and then move the fuck in and kill off what we can, and we're actually seeing Oloth move out now, and he's going to be engaging these, but this is not such a good engagement, really. There's extra Stalkers, there's extra Zealots, really, and although we've got the, not a wasted force field there, but enough of a force field to hold them back, it's a little bit of a difficult position here for Oloth now, as he actually doesn't really have anything in his main base beyond the 2 Stalkers he's just warped in, so we might be seeing quite a heavy engagement coming out of purple here, and it was really unfortunate for Oloth that he decided to move out then, because a single force field on the ramp would have given him plenty of time to deal with this. But he is going to be taking out the pylon behind that though, so that does hopefully prevent too many more troops coming in from purple. But with this extra pylon up on the high ground there, there's not really much that's going to stop there, and we're actually going to see the Forge fall as well there now, so no early 1-1 for Oloth here as well, and this is looking really quite a tough situation for Oloth to deal with now, as purple does move ahead on supply. He's got more troops down, and he's just generally looking good. I mean, there is the Nexus cannon here now, so purple could do with sticking back and pulling units back every time something gets involved in that, but to be honest, with 5 Stalkers out, as long as he stays out of range of these extra guns, and no, to be honest, purple is just going to be letting his troops die. He is going to take down the mothership course. We're not going to see any further Nexus cannons anytime soon, but with all this going on, it's not so good. And I really like this in-base pylon here out of purple. It's a little bit too close. It's slightly merged with the Nexus cannons. That's going to continue taking that down until it eventually wears off after fucking forever. Because I can just say, Nexus cannons last absolutely ages. Look at this shit. Still going. It's been like 20 odd seconds now. Like what is this? Like, honestly, what a joke. Like, you need how much time do you need? Like, what we'll do is we'll make it really stupidly long. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the Nexus cannon. As a Zerg player especially, all my early pressure disappears with the Nexus cannon appearing. So yeah, I'm not a happy boy about that. But you know, obviously both players have it. It's perfectly fair. I'm not going to sit and complain about balancing the cast. But like, holy shit, guys, come on. So with that, it looks like Oloth might actually have defended this here. I mean, there's obviously the Zealots here tanking the front of the damage, and we've got the Stalkers behind taking out any extra units there. And it actually looks like, yeah, Oloth's going to completely push this away. No bother whatsoever. So a really nice defense actually out of Oloth there. He got the Nexus cannon down. He got the troops out that he needed. And although he didn't have those troops originally with the force field like he might have intended, he actually managed to defend it really well and get enough out, and actually now with the 4 gateways down as well, he's going to be in a really good position to continue reinforcing this. I don't think anyone lost any we lost 3 workers there, not really too much though. It's not game changing, especially in like this sort of league. It's really not that much of a bother. We've got the extra Zealots down now as well here. These should help tank up some damage while the Stalkers deal the DPS. And all looking very good now. If we just have a look at Purple's base, Purple's done absolutely nothing of interest really. He's got down the 4 gateways, and that's about all he's going to be doing for now. Both players looking in very similar situations, to be honest, at the moment. We're seeing Oloth getting out another mothership core. This is good. This helped him defend in the first place, and it will help him continue to defend. I'd really like a sentry just to keep force fielding this ramp to give him the time that he needs to respond to things. But to be honest, other than that, he's looking pretty good. I mean, we've got double pylon down here out of Oloth now as well, so I imagine that will be some sort of warp-in return pressure thing. We're going to see the mothership core fall straight away. They're completely caught out of position. That was really unfortunate for Olof there though. But with Purple not looking that strong at the moment, he's been forced out by slightly less Stalkers, and yeah, he doesn't really have the overwhelming force at the moment. He does have more Stalkers down with 11 of them there, but it's only 6 Stalkers that Olof has. But he will be warping in more as he continues his economy, and both players are looking to stick on the 1-base play, I think, for the moment. Yeah. So as I say, I stopped doing the Serious Sam one because I thought it was a little bit of well, I was a bit shit at it, basically. And this is a really nice force field. They're splitting up the troops perfectly. We just need to make sure we keep the sentry alive. If we can just pick down, not quite keep the sentry alive, but we have picked off some extra units there, and that does put Olof in a really good position because he's basically cut off the additional units that Purple had there, and he's now in a really good position to defend himself. He does also have an extra sentry in here as well. As long as he's on top of that, shouldn't be an issue now. And with that, Purple's decided to go for an expansion behind this. He's going to be pulling all his troops away, and generally looking to defend and move into a more macro-orientated build from this point in the game. Now, meanwhile, Olof's getting some extra troops here. This is obviously good. He's going to be aware that he needs them, but until he has a little poke down the ramp, he's not going to be sure that Purple's actually moved away. So he's going to need to have a little look outside the base there and just see what's going on. Make sure that Purple isn't keeping him in there, which he's doing now. He's going to move down, have a look around. There's nothing there at all he's going to see, and this should make it perfectly safe for him to expand. He might be going, as he's found that pylon yet? Not quite there. I would quite like him to go and have a little just glance up there and just see if there's anything up there, because he's got to be aware that there's another proxy pylon here somewhere. Although after taking down that original first one, he might not be entirely sure of that, so it might not be the first thing on his mind, especially when obviously we've got things like the robotics facility to get out. And actually both players following incredibly similar builds here. Both players have gone for expansion at virtually the same time. Both players have gone up for a robotics facility Amnesia like right away after that, and both players generally looking really even here. I like this balance in this game here. I mean, we've got a few spare workers here and there. It's, you know, little mistakes and that, but obviously with all that pressure going on, it's not really too much of an issue. It's something that I'm sure he'll pick up on eventually as he wanders around the map scouting out things. Now Purple at the top meanwhile is continuing to build stuff. He's getting his robotics facility down, as I say. Nothing really too much out of the ordinary, just generally building up troops. Going to be macroing up, getting the second base up and going, all looking very tasty. So yes, as I say, stop streaming the serious sound. I'm going to make it into a web series eventually, but it's going to take me a little bit of time to get all the FPS games together. It's basically I just need to get better at them again. I used to play through all these old games on the hardest difficulties, and it's really annoying me that I can't quite do that anymore because, well, basically I'm either too drunk or sleepy or other list of excuses. So yeah, instead what I've done is I've started an Amnesia stream up. Basically I just want to get through some games, get more stuff on the internet, get more streaming out there. So with that, with my Amnesia stream is basically the main thing I'm doing at the moment. So I will be streaming some Amnesia immediately following the recording of this. Actually, I mean, you're not going to be aware of that because by the time this is on the internet, the Amnesia stream will be long done. But episode 3, which is the one I'll be recording tonight, should be live on my YouTube within a couple of hours after the stream ending, so I should hopefully be able to provide some entertainment there. To be honest, I'm really good at squeaking like a little girl, so yeah, Amnesia's perfect for me. I've got a really wavy temperament. I jump quite a lot anyway, so yeah, it's going to be an interesting one if stream 2 is anything to go by. Now, meanwhile, we've got back in the game here. We've got Oloth getting out his first of his immortals here. He's got his second base fully up and running now. He does need to put some workers in the gas really, but otherwise he's looking really good. Obviously, need to keep just churning out those probes there, getting everything up to full. All looking very good really. It's actually quite a silent moment in the game, to be honest, now, as both players are just looking to recuperate after the initial pressure of Purple and just generally try and improve their situation. Now, it looks like Oloth might be going for an additional expansion down the bottom left here. I really like these sort of things. Like, secret bases are always a cool thing to do in these sort of leagues because you can get away with it because people just don't scout like they should, you know? So it's going to be a little bit of an interesting one. See if Oloth can get that down and if Purple will then come and scout it. Meanwhile, Purple's actually getting some zealots out of his own on this high ground near the third base of where the third base would go of Oloth. So we should be seeing what he's going to do with those now. They're going to have a little run down. I think the idea would be to put some pressure on, but they're actually just going to get chewed up straight away by all these zealots of Oloth. I'd quite like to see a little bit of micro. Hopefully Oloth doesn't lose any of these zealots of his own. They're not quite saving them all perfectly. That's really nice. And with that, we're seeing Purple move the rest of his army down now. So he's obviously pretty confident that he can take this. I'm not entirely sure that he can. He's got the force field advantage, but he's got the same number of immortals out. And there's a lot more zealots in Oloth's army, so a lot of it will depend on the micro and the force fields, to be honest, in this one. So it's really Purple's engagement to take if he can, although engaging up onto the high ground is never going to be that good, especially when we've got the Mothership Core out here as well for Oloth, which should help control the movement of the Protoss Stalkers away. Now we're getting a good split here and a big engagement going on, and we're seeing Oloth's army cut almost entirely in half, but unfortunately for Purple, he actually managed to just cut the Zealots down the front and keep them in line, so they've all managed to get straight into combat there without any much bother. And really I'd like to see the rest of these Stalkers of Oloth's moving in to engage here, but we're not quite seeing that there as the first Immortal dies, second one goes there for Purple now as well, and with the Defender's advantage here of Oloth here, he should be able to play this up here. He's just have more Immortals out and more Stalkers out now as well as the Mothership Core. Getting down that Nexus cannon before it died, and with that, yeah, we're seeing Purple completely pushed out of this now. Oloth taking a 20 supply lead on the back of that engagement, and with the force field there trying to stop that. It was an unfortunate force field, a little bit slow, but never mind. We're going to start seeing Purple move into the Colossus play now as he starts building his first Colossus back at his base in the robotics facility. Now we've got double forges here out of Oloth. I'd imagine we're seeing double upgrades out of those before too long, and equally I'd imagine we'll be seeing some double Colossi out before long as well. I mean, we're going to continue to get the Immortals for now, but Colossi are generally the way to move with this game. As well, if anyone remembers Wings of Liberty, of course, basically it turned into War of the Worlds, where everybody had all the Colossi they could possibly carry. So obviously now Oloth's going to be taking down this additional pylon here, stopping those annoying little warpins in his third base. It's good stuff, and meanwhile Purple hasn't spotted the double pylon here out of Oloth at the top there, so we may still be seeing some interesting pressure. It would have been quite nice if when Purple had moved out like that, if Oloth could have maybe warped in some troops and sent them in to harass the base, but obviously it wasn't quite on the cards. Oloth wasn't going to be completely aware of what was going on. We could do some observers out down the front, a little bit more map vision would be quite nice, but otherwise looking very good. We're just seeing the third base of Oloth come up here now, 50% done, looking very good. Seeing some more pylons coming down. He's looking in a much stronger position than Purple at this moment, I'll be honest, because, well, basically he's got more of an economy going on. He's got more progression looking in his game. He looks like he's going to go further, whereas at the moment Purple is pretty much looking to a very two-basey kind of Colossus build. We're seeing a single forge down here as well. Getting some extra gateways down out of Purple as well now, so he's looking to try and take advantage of some of his additional resources that he's piling up here. But generally just sort of moving forward, Generally good banter, nothing too out of this world out of either player. Now we're seeing a big probe transfer down from the main here out of Oloth there, as his main's just about mined out now after such a long one base play. And with these the fully saturated second base here as well, he's looking really good now. Generally really good economy. Meanwhile, purple will be struggling as his main is going to be mining out in much the same way that Oloth's is. So yeah, with that, it looks like Oloth might be starting to move out now. He's got 7 immortals down now, which is great. He's got the mothership core on top, and he's got a whole bunch of stalkers with some sentries in there as well. So just generally looking like a typical sort of ground-based death ball of Oloth here, taking on the more colossi-based ball of purple. Not quite sure how this one will go. Very much of it depends on the splits of Oloth, I feel. If he can keep his units nice and far apart, away from the hits of the Colossi, and maybe catch 1 or 2 of the Colossi out of position, try and target them down a bit with the perhaps with the Stalkers if he spreads them out and round and uses the Immortals to focus down the other Stalkers there. That might work really well. I'm not entirely sure. It's a little bit difficult to tell at this stage. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see if the engagement there. So obviously now Oloth's deciding to move out at last. Now he's getting 9 immortals out here for Oloth now. Actually, he's almost got as many immortals as he does stalkers there. So that's looking really strong for him. I really like that. And with the observer down as well, now he should be able to pick off this little observer that's moving up the map to come and get him. Although actually, I don't think we're going to see that. Unfortunately, he's going to get right past him there. And I think, in fact, he's going to see. Yeah. So purple has seen Oloth move out there. So. That's worth knowing about. He's going to be aware that he's coming, and he should be continuing to build up his army at the front of the base now, getting more and more sentries out now as well. And this should really just looking to control the fight and allow the Colossi to engage without too much bother is generally purple's crack here. Although with a 20 supply lead here for Oloth, it's a little bit of a difficulty now. If we just have a little look at the units tab, pretty much all that supply is in probes though, so it is mostly an economy-based victory here. The army supply is about the same, so we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen now. As we're going to see an engagement here, as Oloth completely flanks purple here, and it looks like we're getting so much damage on those initial units there. Although actually without too much of a split going on here, we're going to be seeing a little bit of difficulty here from Oloth's units here as they're forced to recall out of the engagement because there's just slightly too many Colossi there for Oloth to deal with, and that's really unfortunate there. If he could have perhaps maybe just spread out slightly more, got a slightly larger concave on those Colossi, could have maybe targeted one of them down or something like that, but unfortunately he wasn't able to do that and was forced to completely recall back to his base. Now hopefully out of this he might be able to get a much better engagement. We've already seen many of the force fields out of purple come down now, and we're actually seeing all the immortals get into line now, and they're actually managing to completely chew up this force now, as there just isn't quite enough force fields to control the army of purple, and that's really nice in that respect because purple wasted so many force fields on that initial engagement. Oloth was basically able to take that second one because purple couldn't actually quite tell him where he should be with the engagement. You use the force fields to keep your opponent's troops in certain places and stop them from engaging. And when you can get this many immortals down to engage on an army like that of purple's, well, purple's just fell apart, and now he's hugely behind in economy, and I can't see quite how he's going to come out of this one. He doesn't yet have his third base is finished up, but there's nothing mining on it yet. Oloth's going to be checking out the high ground up here, just checking out this third base. He's going to kill this straight away. There's nothing really that purple can do about this. He's going to come and try and engage behind this, but that base is going to fall way too quickly there for purple to deal with. And with Oloth having the high ground here as well, there's no way purple's going to be able to get on this high ground here at all, so it's looking really difficult for him now. And meanwhile with Oloth's fourth base down now as well, and he'll be looking to transfer probably some of these probes over before too long. I'd imagine we'll be seeing generally some sort of a contain here out of Oloth, making sure purple can't get out of his base, take a third base, and generally looking good, although he's actually pulling back for some reason, so I'm not quite sure what his thought is there. Maybe he's imagining that he might be slightly not quite as far ahead as he is, really. I mean, I don't know if he could have necessarily pushed this ramp, but he could have certainly had a bit of a poke up and maybe seen or had a look at it, but no, it doesn't really matter that much. It's all good. He's still ahead in many ways. I mean, he's got 3 bases down with a 4th one on the way, 2 of which are mining, whereas obviously purple here is down to a single mining base now. This main being completely out of minerals, absolutely, and basically 35 probes on a single base. Not a good position to be in. So at this point, purple needs to either try and defend, get more bases and move on, or needs to attack and win the game right now, because otherwise he's going to lose. There is no way he can take this sort of army if he doesn't. If he continues to let Oloth macro up like this. I mean, with this extra base now up as well, there's really very little purple can do in the way of economy here now. Oloth's accelerating up to 200 supply, whereas purple's on a mere 103, and this is actually looking really bad now. So we're going to see the engagement here out of purple here, and it's actually quite good. He's got a really good line of force fields on, stopping all these back units from getting in, and he's managed to cut a good chunk out the front of Oloth's army there before anything too much could happen. But I don't think we're going to see. I'm not sure if we're going to see them survive this because, I mean, there's a lot of troops here that aren't engaging here for some reason out of Oloth. I'm not sure. I think it must be a micro mistake, but it turns out that half of his army can actually take out everything that Purple has. And with Purple falling to just 44 supply now, that's looking like GG. And absolutely, the GG is thrown out there by Purple, and Oloth does take the game. Now, that was really cool. I really like Purple's early pressures. I like the way that he dealt with them. Oloth got a little bit unlucky in the way that he moved out the base with the sentries and stuff and at the start, and allowed Purple to move up the ramp at the main base. But Oloth recovered it well. He defended really well, got the extra bases out that he needed, and managed to take out any extra bases that Purple could get before Purple was able to move his economy up to that extra level that he needs for the later game tech. So yeah, well, with that in mind, it's been another great game. Thanks once again for watching CasualCraft. I've been RedRipz, your Renegade Master. Yeah, that'll do. Grabbing RedRipz once again, drinking my beer. Here we are up in Newcastle. Now, thanks everybody for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Nothing else particular to mention. Check out my Amnesia videos. You should do that because they're good. Now, well, the first one's shit. The sound's awful. Don't watch the first one. But the rest are good. I promise. Okay, so thanks once again. GG, well played to both players. And thanks. Goodbye.